Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for our third episode here, talking about the Euros on our Euros weekly sort of instalment we've got going on here. If you do like the podcast, as always, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you're listening on Spotify, if you could share it about, that'd be very much appreciated. So, a lot to unpack with the Euros, of course, but the first, as always, is going to be the Rangers news. A wee bit of news coming out. There's a bit of buzz about the new season coming in. The new training range was released in the new home kit, and it's divided a lot of opinion amongst the Rangers support. Not really liking it. Kistori maybe not having the best shirts for the past couple of seasons there. Personally, in my opinion, I really like the shirt. I think it's classy. I think it's a nice look for champions on the 150th year as well. So I personally like it. I'll be buying it whenever I get the chance. What about yourself?
I would say it is a good top, but then you get that 32 red logo just covered in gold, and I'm like, can we take that off? I would say that they've delivered more for me on the training kind of stuff than they have the actual kit over the last sort of couple of seasons. But no, I mean, I just think if they get rid of that big 32, look, just all sponsor on it. If the sponsor's off it, I'm like, aye, that's a nice top. But I just think with the sponsor on it, it kind of takes away from it. I like the collar. Don't get me wrong, I like the collar on it. And obviously dripped in gold as usual, Jack. So that's nice to see on it.
It is a nice top. But I agree with you that the 32 red thing sort of, I think it takes a bit away from it in that respect, like with the sponsor and that. But that it just has to be there. Hopefully they do make a version without it down the line, because I'll definitely get one of them instead. And I've seen a few concepts going about if the gold was changed to white, and that looks outstanding actually in that respect. But I like the look at it. I can understand why some fans are annoyed about it, but I think Kistori have done a good job again with the top. The training range looks really good as well. I like that white and blue one. Not too big on the red kind of Belgium looking ones yet, but what's your opinions on them?
Same as you, like the sort of whitey blue one. The red one, as you say, I'm not a fan. I think that's one of them, if you kind of seen it in person, it maybe change your mind a bit more. But I like the shorts anyway. I like the black and the gold shorts. But no, I mean, how long's the deal with this company anyway for like the gear and all that?
I think it's quite a bumper deal. I think a few years anyway with Kistori for Rangers. It was their first market into the football landscape anyway. Obviously, Rangers being such a big thing for them, that you could see last year when they get their tops out the first time, it was kind of hit and miss with the quality. Some of them arriving with faults on them and stuff like that, but they look to have been improving again, which is nice to see. And a nice training range. They did milk everything they could out of Rangers last season with the trophy lift bundle, the end of the league winning bundle, the 55 top I've got on the now. Like, every single thing they could do, they made it. But with the new strips and all that, it just gets you a bit more buzzing again for the new season ahead. Like seeing all the new stuff coming out. We get a lot of training photos yesterday, first day back in training. It was nice to see a few players that we've not seen in a while. Edmondson, Middleton, Jordan Jones, to name a few, and Nnamdi Offerbos. Nice to see him in the Rangers colours for the first time as well. But it's just getting you buzzing now again, isn't it?
Oh, it's getting me absolutely buzzing, mate, to be honest with you. I mean, I do love the top you've got on, mate, but I do think this one, the Hummel one, was the best sort of home top. Just with the badge through it and that, I thought that was beautiful. But no, just getting to see like Katic, Goldson, everyone coming back, the new lads that signed for Bournemouth on the free ball knew about. So hoping to hear from him, and also the other boy who signed for Belgium as well. I'm looking forward to seeing him in training, see what he's all about. I think we need to talk, Jack, about that picture of Hadji in the training gear. That has to be, if Rangers ever look to ever get more females attracted to the football club, that's the image right there. I want that on billboards. All right, please, Rangers, get that done.
I know. My sister would definitely agree with that. Handsome lad, old Hadji. But good to see Katic as well. Hopefully he's got a part to play next season. He's obviously, Rangers fans love him. And the pre-season schedule came out as well. We play 5th of July, not that long ago, to go for that. He's taking the players that you saw in the pictures there, Gerrard, he's taking them to play Partick Thistle. So it's nice to see he's not just going with sort of the young ones for these. He's actually going to test them for the first go. Then 5 days later we play Tranmere. The week after that we play Arsenal at Ibrox. So I doubt we're going to get in to see that, but it would have been a lovely game to be at. And then 4 days later we play Blackpool, and then that's the sort of end of our pre-season schedule, going into the season and preparation for that after that. So a few good games to look out for there. Hopefully Sakala, as you say, is involved. Maybe another few signings in the next month with the Euros and that finishing up. You never know what's going to happen. A few outgoings. Middleton's away back out on loan as well. It's Johnson this season. I've just seen as well. So best of luck to him again. And as I said, just get the season here. We just want Rangers back now.
100%. I'm really hoping Katic is a proper pre-season just before everything kicks off, because that guy, man, when he's on his game, I think he's a top player. I mean, I don't know. See that picture that they posted? He didn't look as physically built as he has been looking. I don't know if that's obviously I'm trying to get down into maybe leaner in football shape, but
yeah,
he was looking like a tank when he was.
No, I expect him to come back that way for the season. Don't get me wrong. I expect him to be massive, and I hope he does get a chance, because we've got a lot of good centre halves as we've talked about. Like, we've got 4 there: Balogun, Helander, Goldson, Simpson, and then Katic as well. So Edmondson, who I expect maybe to leave and permanent or go out on loan, but we've got plenty of centre halves there. I just want to see Katic get his games in, because he's a really good player, and he has been for his every time he's put on the jersey. So buzzing about Rangers, but it's time to go into the Euros now. We'll start with the games that since last Tuesday happened. So the end of the group happened. Czech Republic could beat 1-0 off England. I didn't see that for obvious reasons, but we'll talk about that at the end. That's 5-0 to Spain v Slovakia. Looked like Spain might have been under the ropes a wee bit. At times didn't look like it was going to be, but they ended up to get the goal. Own goal, right enough, shocker. Laporte with the header. Aye, I know. And then they piled on a few more goals as well. And Spain, for me, now again with our victory last night, looking like a real contender.
Been saying it since the start, mate. Said it before the tournament kicked off. I fancied them. Luis Enrique, fantastic manager at his time at Barcelona. Obviously, you were a fan of the front three at the time. So I'm fancying them definitely. As I say, I think they can get a real test, I would say, in Switzerland, but we'll also touch on that when we do. But I'm fancying them to maybe get to the final.
Aye, definitely. Spain, good run in now as well for them. So excited to see again what they've got to offer. Sweden 3, Poland 2. Close game. Lewandowski nearly brought it back for them, but Sweden ended up getting the 3-2 victory and actually topped that group. So impressive for them. Still not seen Helander yet, so I hope they get beat tonight. Germany 2, Hungary 2. That was another crazy night for football that night. Germany were getting beat off Hungary at a point, ended up pulling it back to go through. And I just massive respect to Hungary in this tournament. What a performance they've put on.
Absolutely. Listen, I thought Group C was my favourite group, but Group F, obviously, Group of Death, took it for me, to be honest with you. Hungary, as you say, you got to give credit to them. They were in there with the big boys. Nobody expected them to do anything. Almost going through by beating Germany, but wasn't to be. So I think they deserve credit. I think they probably were better than Scotland, let's be honest. We'll get on to that, Jack.
Nah, we've got one more game to go on to here. France 2, Portugal 2. It was the game of Benzema and Ronaldo cancelling each other out 2 each. And massive Benzema fan. He just, only if he could score another last night, but what a striker he is. 2 for him, 2 for Ronaldo. I know, it wasn't, but it is what it is. And then Portugal went through as third place. France topped the group in that one. And then the last group game that we were all watching, we were all hoping for something to happen. Croatia 3, Scotland 1 at Hampden. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, mate, as I said to you, obviously, before we got the podcast, at the time you were obviously devastated in that. But then you remembered Rangers are coming back, so it's all right. No, I mean, yeah, again, he got it wrong. I mean, if we had won the first game, we wouldn't have been in this position. I feel like if we had an attacking manager, we could have gone further in the tournament. I can't believe I celebrated the Cal McGregor goal, and I can't even believe I'm saying that. The last time I did that, obviously, was lovely goal at Ibrox Calm. Thanks for that. But no, I couldn't believe that second half. I thought when we got to half time, right, cool. Here we go. We're going to do it now. And then they decided to defend, in my opinion. They just dropped back and let Croatia. You can't let Modric have the ball and do what he does. Do you know what I mean? You can't allow that. O'Donnell getting beat. O'Donnell and McTominay, I think, for the first goal are just idiots, to be honest with you. But I don't know, mate. I'm over it now. I've been saying it since the man got the job. He's no good enough. I don't think he's good enough, mate. I think with this crop of talent, you can't waste it on some days negative Steve Clarke. He's second, you know what I mean? He's second his assistant or whatever you. Is that John Kavanagh? It was at Newcastle. Seriously, you're telling me there's no better manager for the Scotland job? A young, hungry manager out there that could take that job? Maybe start a petition and we could have me in that job. No, I'm like, I don't want that job, to be honest. No, mate, I can't. Honestly, I'm just over it now. And I'll be wearing the Germany top tonight, Jack. I'll be wearing that away Germany top.
Of course we will be. Hopefully the Germans do it tonight. But in terms of the Scotland game, a week since that has happened, obviously I'm over it now as well. I was livid at the time. Like, just the whole way it happened. Like you seen Croatia, Scotland. You really need to go out with an attacking side and try and hurt Croatia. They're obviously a good side. So you're going to need to be at your best. They started off Scotland 5-10 minutes. Really good at the start. You were hopeful. You were like maybe we could actually go and do something here. And then what good teams do, Croatia were just in that process of seeing what we could throw at them. And then they were going to hurt us at a point, and it took 5 minutes after that spell we had. Vlasic scores, easy days for them. We get back into the game with McGregor. You're thinking at half time, right? O'Donnell's not had a great game. He's been lost for the first goal. You're going to try and attack a game with a non-attack wise, or if that's even a word, a non-attacking fullback and O'Donnell. Dykes is still in the park and stuff like that. As soon as I seen the second half starting with all of these same players in the park, I was like, there's no chance Scotland win this game, even with equalising. And I'm the same as you. I don't want to see this group of players because we've got a really decent squad coming through. I don't want to see these group of players being wasted on Steve Clarke. And for all the people saying, "Oh, I can hold my head up and I'm proud that we done what at the Euros. We failed massively at the Euros. Like, there's nothing to be proud of at all. It's an absolute embarrassment to go to the Euros, first one in 23 years and play like that, in my opinion. And for me, like, I don't deal with all these token gestures like Steve Clarke basically done in this full tournament. I'm going to play the players that got me there. I would rather with us as well, right? We've seen how you do in a tournament. We've seen how you play, and it's no use for somebody at Scotland who want to go and attack. So personally, I'm Steve Clarke out, and that's my opinion on that. I really don't think he's suited to the job.
I think obviously your highlight was when your boy Nisbet and Patterson came on. Obviously, you were clapping they two coming on. It was nice to see Patterson came on. Honestly, when Patterson came on, he affected the game more than O'Donnell has the whole tournament. I'm in the same camp with you, mate. It's a failure. Your majority of games are at home. How do you only score one goal at home in a tournament where everyone's backing you? You've got to go and play attacking football. So I honestly, mate, I'm over it at this moment in time, as I say. I'm a bit in the camp with obviously the lad that does Man United TV and all that kind of stuff. That Adam McCullough, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I watched him on the kickoff, and I honestly have to just agree with him when he was talking about his club. He was on about how England fans, do you know what I mean? They were singing things about Manchester United, and we can relate to that because Scotland fans obviously are singing their songs about Rangers and what have you, and it is mostly the lower league kind of people, you know what I mean, that are supporting their nations mostly compared to the big two in Scotland. Even though we obviously back our country, obviously, but I don't know, mate. I found that debate kind of interesting. That I mean, a lot of people, it's their club before their country. Do you know what I mean? And it is sort of just people that support the lower league teams that really get angry into the national team. But as I say, I'm not one of these people that's going to be like, oh, it was good to just be there for the first time in England. For me, like, you're looking at the way the bracket we would have been in potentially. How could we, if we had a decent, do you know what I mean, just going for it, I think we could have got quite far in my opinion.
Aye, 100% agree with you as well. Look at the teams that have been put out. Look at the teams that are still in it. They're perfectly beatable. Like, we've beat Czech Republic
And if
before, home and away.
exa-
Obviously, we had them in our group, but they're beatable.
no, but that's what I'm saying as well. We played Holland in like the Dutch, sorry, in a friendly there just before the tournament, and we should have beaten them. Obviously, the free kick wasn't a free kick. You're telling me we couldn't have gone out there again and give the Dutch a good game?
No. Aye, you're right. Like, aye, it leaves you even more disappointed when you see nations like Switzerland last night, like really going against the top side in the world in terms of international football and taking the game to them. With moments of magic, obviously, we'll get on to talking about them, and then they still come up in the last 10 minutes, end up winning the game in penalties. Like, there just doesn't seem to be anything about that for Scotland. It just seems to always be just lackluster, and nobody really seems to play with passion or anything like that. Like, it's really hard to get into it and then get involved, as you say, with the whole debate with that. Well, Ryan Jack was getting booed when he was playing for Scotland a few years ago. And that sort of didn't sit right with me either, booing your own player for the team he plays for. And then you see like people in London, Sporting Scotland, they're singing chants about if you hate Rangers and all that. Like, I understand there are people that are just going down for the occasion. They're not really actually Scotland fans. Like, but yeah, there's a lot for Rangers fans not to like the national team.
But still, that's what I'm on about, though. It's, as I just said there, I can't believe I celebrated a Cal McGregor goal. Because it's not about Rangers or Celtic there, it's about your country and backing your nation. Do you know what I mean? That's what I can't understand. You know what I mean? It's got nothing to do with SFA or anything like that for me. Like, it's my country playing. How can I not watch them play football? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, fair enough if you lived in, do you know what I mean, the Philippines or something, and you're like, no, I'm not watching my. Do you know what I mean? But you're in Scotland. We're in the centre of it. Do you know what I mean? You have to support your nation for me. But all that kind of stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't blame Rangers fans who don't back the national team. Like, I got in a taxi the other day, and it was he was a Rangers lad and all, and he was just saying that he hopes England just batter him, and I was like, well, listen, mate, it's going to end up in a draw. But obviously it did. But no, the likes of Lyndon Dykes and that, as I'm saying, I just think don't play him again. I thought Oliver McBurney was bad. This boy's the only thing he's good at, as I say, is winning the 50-50, maybe in the headers or what have you when the ball gets played along.
And that's the only reason Steve Clarke plays him. Like, he's not really a great striker or a goal scorer. He plays him because he'll always go in for a 50-50. He'll always put his body in the line. Like, that's the only reason he gets a game, which to me, again, is laughable.
But that's what I'm on. He's so negative. See, if in a tournament list for me, go for it. Play Nisbet, play Adams together. The two of them playing together are more likely going to get goals for me. Do you look, as I said, you look at Patterson, he came on, he did more than O'Donnell's done the whole tournament. That's what I'm on about. People want to praise Marshall, he saved the penalty that got us there. Maybe if he saved the goal before getting the penalties, do you know what I mean, did his actual job, I'm not going to praise him for doing his job. Same with O'Donnell in that England game, I'm not going to praise you for having a one-off good game for them. The most of the time when I've watched you, you've been absolute toilet water.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I'm not going to praise you at all. You've got a young lad like Patterson sitting on there. Do you know what I mean? He's won the league. The only time O'Donnell's going to see the league is when Patterson looks at his phone and it's a picture of him holding it.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I know.
It's absolutely laughable. But it's annoyed me as well. Is what, like, we'll get into Croatia, but seriously, you're not going to play Barisic. You play him against Scotland. That's about it. What was that all about?
I know. Apparently, for yesterday's game, he was injured again. Like, that's what I've heard. He wasn't in the squad because he's injured. So I don't actually know what's happening with Barisic at the moment. But that was the best part about the full Scotland game. We've seen him coming on, Patterson coming on, and Nisbet coming on. That was when I was at my most happy. And let that be that, because it's depressing me even more. Scotland, disaster in a tournament. We hope to see an improvement, but I personally don't think that'll be with Steve Clarke. In my opinion, he probably will be manager, but I don't see any improvement under him. I feel like he's took this group of players and whatever as far as he can. And the youngsters coming through, I feel like they need to be coached by somebody with actual ambition and a good way of playing. But that's that. Total disappointment. And then the last 16 started over the weekend. The first 4 games I didn't get to see, so you can give your opinion on these. Wales 4-0. Denmark 4, Italy 2, Austria 1, Netherlands 0, Czech Republic 2, Belgium 1, Portugal 0. What was your thoughts on all the games? I've seen the goals and highlights, but what was your thoughts on them?
Just credit to Denmark. They weathered the storm with Wales. Wales came out very quickly and were playing very attackingly. But Denmark, full credit to them. They've really got a fighting spirit, and I'm rooting for them personally. Secretly, I'm wanting Denmark to win this tournament. Obviously, what happened to Ericsson, I really want them to win it. Austria were unlucky against Italy. I thought Austria gave Italy a right good game to the very end. But the Italians obviously going through. I think they're everyone's favourites to win it for me. And then the Czechs, I mean, I seen people wearing the Slavia Prague tops, mate, and I was like, nah, come on, the Dutch. Let's not be losing to these lot. But no, fair play to the Czechs. I thought the Czechs were great against the Dutch as well. The Dutch just seemed to be tired. I think the heat was just too much.
It's coming on to, like, see we Czech Republic, although I don't like them or respect any of them at all. But it's shown, like, be Slavia Prague and all that, although we can hate them for as much as we want, like, they are a really good side in Europe, and it's shown again in Czech Republic. Like, they have a really good side as well, so they're one of them that you can never rule out. Patrick Schick as well, I'm really liking him in this tournament. Really good goal scorer, and just some of the stuff they seem to play, get the job done, and they do it with their own teams as well. Definitely to watch out for.
No, listen, 100%. You can't take away their work rate, their desire to win the game. As you said, that boy is a forward that I could see. There's always somebody at this tournament that ends up getting a big move out here. I could see him maybe getting a big move, maybe to the Premiership or something. But no, I think I've just been rooting for the underdog. I said that when we did a whole prediction video. I'm rooting for the underdog in this tournament, and last night the underdog came out on top. The Swiss. You've seen that guy, I know everyone's sharing him about, where he was devastated and then he just gets top off and going nuts. That's what football's all about, and I feel sorry. I know everyone's been saying it, but I really do feel sorry for people who don't like football, because, wow, you're missing out on a tournament, I would say.
Nah, 100%, yeah. And then before we go into the two games last night, Belgium, Portugal, look, I've believed in Belgium so much the past two tournaments, and they're actually looking like they could go in, make a good step into the final maybe now, but Italy stands in the way of them. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare against them. But against Portugal, 1-0, I don't think they really played that good. I caught the second half of that one after I finished. They didn't play that well, but they got the job done, and now De Bruyne, Hazard, both injured as well.
Listen, Sean Maloney will probably jump on for them, will he not?
Aye. I know.
No, just on that Portugal and Hingway game, I mean, I couldn't believe what I was hearing after it, with Roy Keane trying to have a go at João Felix for trying, because he was actually trying to do stuff. I don't understand your logic, mate. But I just thought Portugal, I thought it was a real good game, man. Pepe coming in with the old school tackle on Hazard's wee brother when the play stopped. I like that. But just wasn't to be Cristiano's night. And I think with the Belgian team, I know you have backed them for the last couple of tournaments. I think it's now just experience in the big games they've got now, and they sort of know how to manage them, I would say. Lukaku, yet again, this guy, I can't believe the disrespect he got over here. Like, honestly, this guy is a world-class forward. And he said it himself, I'm in the bracket with Lewandowski's and all the top players. I think he is anyway. But no, credit to Belgium. Portugal just wasn't their night, no. I definitely will be back stronger. But that Bruno Fernandes ain't any good unless he's wearing that Man United jersey for me.
Aye, Portugal really, they underperformed a lot in this tournament. They were pumped off Germany. They got a 2-2 draw, and then they get beat off Belgium. With the amount of talent they've got coming through, they'll come back again. But that might not be with Cristiano anyway for much longer, which is obviously sad.
He's a freak of nature. He will be, I tell you that. I think he'd do a better job in goal than the actual goalkeeper. That goalkeeper is, I don't know what people see in that guy, man. Honestly, that is some pathetic. He's looked up and he's seen that the goalkeeper isn't he right in the middle, and he's just thought, I'm digging that. What a goal anyway, but come on, bad goalkeeping for that.
Nah, it was a nice strike, but poor positioning for the shot. But Portugal, a lot of disappointments in the team. Bruno Fernandes was shocking in this tournament. Everybody's had his breakout couple of seasons now at Man United. You're expecting him to really. I personally, he's a Brighton, Newcastle merchant. He just never showed up in the big games for Man United either. Like, he was a ghost in the Europa League final. I've not really ever seen him against Liverpool apart from a deflected goal. That's the only time I watch Man United as well. But I've no seen much for him. Diogo Jota, another one, I was really disappointed in him. I thought he would really have a decent tournament, but didn't work out.
Shockery tournament wasn't good enough, man. Wasn't good enough at all, Jota. But didn't work out for them. But I definitely think Cristiano will be there. I think he'll be there until I could see him playing the next Euros and all. I honestly do. He's so smart with his game. Now he doesn't need to do the big long runs or anything like that anymore. Just sit there, be a poacher. Every time he ran into the box, I just knew he wants it on his head. He wants that header. He loves doing that big leap. He does.
He's some fucking leap.
I don't know. How does he get that high?
He's absolutely insane. He's great to watch. 5 goals again in this tournament. At 36 years old, it wouldn't surprise me again if he's at the next Euros in 4 years. Because as you said, he's a freak of nature, but he's like get the physical conditioning like a peak 20-year-old or something like that. Aye, so due to that, maybe he will. And as you said, he's adjusted his game now, so where he doesn't need to just be dribbling past everybody and like using all his stamina and energy and all that all the time. He's on the goal line. He's waiting for the header or the tap in or the penalty. But aye, Portugal. Aye, bit like Benzema as well. But France, we'll go into the Croatia game actually first. 5-3 actually. Spain ended up after extra time. What a night for football in general. Spain, Croatia go 1-0 up with a horror own goal, and then Spain get back into the game. Then they take away the game for Croatia at that point. 10 minutes left. They get a consolation. You're like, maybe they could go for it now. And then Pasalic scores in the last 92nd minute or something like that. Extra time, but then Spain, they get the job done. Great goal for Morata and Oyarzabal as well to round it off. But what was your thoughts on that game? Because it was just mental.
I couldn't believe that own goal. Well, the goalkeeper, to be honest with you, but I could because he's not been good all season in La Liga. So I think if they're definitely, obviously they're playing the next round against a really determined Switzerland team. So I think David De Gea has to go back in. That's another player who's been disrespected for me because he's had maybe 1 or 2 seasons where he hasn't been at his best mentally. I think he just put him back in. But that game itself was crazy. Croatia yet again, man. I don't even know. They're just. I know everyone says they're an aging team in that, but I mean, it's Modric who's really aging in it, and then you've got the boy at the back with the long blonde hair. I forgot his name.
Vida.
Aye, so there's maybe 1 or 2 or something like that in the team that's aging, but they've got great young players. That young lad that came on, but no, that was a great game last night as well. Morata's another one who gets disrespected constantly. So good footballer. It's one of them where he's going to keep getting the chances. He'll put one of them in eventually.
You just need to wait out with Morata. It's similar with Timo Werner this season. Like if you get the ball to him, he'll get a goal eventually. Like you just need to wait for it. And more often that it's going to be a massive goal. Like Timo Werner's in the Champions League. I'm pretty sure he scored against Real Madrid.
I'm not obviously saying he's thingy, but for me, he's kind of similar to Bamford. Like Bamford, so many chances, like simple chances where it's a tap-in, and he might miss it, and you're like, "Are you serious?" But as you say, like he'll score the crucial goals. You know what I mean? The hat trick against Villa, like. So I think he's sort of like that. There's a lot of good forwards like that. You know what I mean? They're going to keep getting the chances, and eventually they will put them in. They might score in the big games, but I think Spain will be all right going into the next game. I'm hoping that they hopefully go through. I have backed them to do something, but we don't know, mate. This tournament's unpredictable, and that's what I'm liking about it.
Aye, you just don't know when the next swerve is coming. But last night, France 3, Switzerland 3, and Switzerland won 5-4 in penalties. What a game that was! Like the first half, Switzerland up 1-0. France really need to come out and do something about it. Like they've been really lackluster in the full tournament, I would say, and a lot of people are saying, me included, like they're playing in second gear. They know they're going to top the group. Once they get into the knockout stages, they're really going to go and hammer teams, and that's what I thought. They go 1-0 down and have a really poor half. Come out the second half, Switzerland have a penalty, and you're like, "Oof, this could be over as early as this." They miss it. Then they go up the end of the park. Benzema scores. What a class goal that was. The touch before it, and then finish. He's always in that area. He gets them 1 each, and then it was like in the blink of an eye, it was 2-1. Yeah, Benzema at the back post again. Nice work for Griezmann to chip it over and the goal. And then you've just got to pause for a minute and just that Paul Pogba goal is just perfection. He was unbelievable for the full game and probably for the full tournament, probably been a standout for France. And then you're thinking it's done and dusted. There's 10 minutes to go. Same thing happens as the Croatia game. It was mental how it happened. They get a consolation. Severovic gets his second of the game. And then they go through each in the 90th minute or something like that. It was last kick of the ball. And 90 minutes just mental.
Yeah, crazy football, mate. Honestly, I couldn't believe I was watching, to be honest with you. I was so happy when they scored that third goal. I thought, yes, finally. I just want penalties. You always want a penalty out in these kind of games. But as you said, Pogba was fantastic. I thought the Griezmann was he had a bit of a decent tournament, didn't he? Scumbag. Enjoy Barcelona. No, Benzema. I mean, this guy's. He said goals been sort of ruled offside and things like that in this tournament, but the goal he scored last night was just I don't think he meant it, but then when you look at the thing back, it's like, no, he meant that. He knew what he was doing. And I still think the Switzerland manager looks like the boy for the Simpsons that tells the news. What's his name? Tells the news.
No, I know who you're talking about. I can picture him. I can't mind his name though.
No, I'm on about. I forgot his name, but I'm telling you, he still looks like him. But no, just a crazy game of football. As I said, feel sorry for people who aren't footballing fans, and that football game last night, the two of them just sums up what it is to be a football fan.
Just brought everything together, I know.
Exactly, but Pogba, honestly, this guy needs to move away from Manchester United for me. He has to go and play in a team where he's going to be able to do all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to play him again, but with Fred and McTominay. I think Scotty McTominay's an alright player, but Fred, seriously, come on, you don't waste yourself for their Pogs, come on.
And then the problem with him at Man United as well is put over the left wing for the end of the season as well. That Pogba's best position is in the middle of the park, just finding players like Benzema, Griezmann, Mbappe running into spaces.
I think it was a chance he created for Mbappe, but the ball, it was just like, it was such a beautiful pass that got all the way through. Some of the balls that he was playing
that's when you see the best of Paul Pogba. Is with France, and I'm the same as you. He should move away from Man United now. It doesn't really suit him playing there for me, and he's struggled since he joined back with Man United. I'd like to see him go and take on something else, because performances like that prove that he's still up there with some of the best midfielders in the world, and I just want him to show that every week, because he's been a player that's been criticised due to the price tag at the time as well. He's been criticised heavily. But you expect that. Like, a lot of people look at that, like 100 million for Pogba. You're expecting like this mad return of goals and assists and all that. But his return's been decent for Man United. You just want to see that kind of performance all the time for him. And one of the letdowns for France was Mbappe. He sadly misses a penalty. You feel sorry for the guy at the young age and all that. But I've seen his posts on Instagram and all that. It takes a lot of character to come out with something like that as quick as doing that, especially taking the penalty that knocks your nation out. And Mbappe, even though he did have a poor tournament, still cementing himself as one of the world's best.
Listen, this is the part in the documentary that's going to get made about him where it flips up now. This guy's going to go on. It's either make or break now. It happens with all the greats. You can think of Ronaldo, Messi, Michael Jordan. They always have a moment, you know what I mean, with World Cups with Messi, Copa Americas, Ronaldo with the Euros. He's going to go on now, and I hope he kicks on. He takes the game to a new level. You've got all the FIFA deals and all that, but now it's time to take it to the next level with this guy, and I hope he does. I do feel like what's his name, Deshaun or whatever his name is, the manager got it wrong. Playing, what was it, 3 at the back, wasn't it? Like, he
had to adjust his play style. So they played a 3-5-2, but they played Rabiot at left back. Like, I like Rabiot. He done well at left back, but they had Lucas Hernandez on the bench as a left back. I don't get why he played Rabiot there, but I had to adjust. Longley didn't have the best 45 minutes. He was sacrificed to go and have a more attacking output of the game, and it paid off for a bit.
Hang on, but can we also just talk about how fantastic it was for McCoisty and Clyde to get the Rangers references in there? I noticed three throughout that game. I noticed McCoisty talking about when the boys scored the first one, watching them play against us in the Europa, and then obviously throughout, I noticed another two. I can't remember off the top of my head, but brought a tear in my eye, Jack. Just Rangers references.
Yeah, the tournament. I know it's good. They two are just unbelievable in commentary anyway, and I think that's what made that game even better last night. The two of them. I just give me more of them, please.
Compared to having what Jermaine Genius or Danny Murphy commentating on it, where you're like, nah, mute my telly. I'll listen to something else.
Snooze fest.
Come on, that's what I'm on about. They two are just a fantastic partnership, as everyone keeps going on about. You're in the game, it brings that drama with obviously with Clive's voice and that. So no, but I mean Switzerland are through, mate, and I really fancy the underdog team. I keep saying I really feel I want Denmark to win it. I can't help myself from saying it. I just want Denmark to win it.
So they are. Honestly, Denmark deserve to win the tournament for however they were put through in the first game. Seeing them win it would be perfect. It would be the perfect thing. But Italy are looking strong. Belgium as well. Spain. There's a few decent teams in it, but a lot of underdogs, and we'll see what happens tonight as well with the two games we'll talk about in a wee second. But as well for Switzerland, as I just want to finish up with, Granit Xhaka. Like, I was thinking to myself, are Arsenal shite? Are they that bad, or is Xhaka actually good? And I think Xhaka's actually a good player. Like, shown last night, he's got that mentality to be a real bruiser in the midfield. He took the game by the scruff of the neck, captain of Switzerland, and he pushed them on to go and do what they did. So fair play to Granit Xhaka for proving me wrong. And I think he's actually moving away from Arsenal now to go link up with Jose Mourinho and Roma.
And watch this. That's what I'm on about. And watch this. I don't know if they're in Europa, but I guarantee he'll go and win a trophy. He'll go and win trophies with Jose. And also, congratulations to Ryan Jack's twin. I tweeted about it last night. Congratulations to the young
Christian Fastnacht. I've seen that's his name.
Aye, congratulations to him.
Uncanny resemblance for him as well. But fair play to everybody in Switzerland.
Might be Jack.
Might have been. I've not seen him in any of the training pictures. It might be. But fair play to Switzerland. Big Cedric Itten is bouncing about. He's flat in Glasgow somewhere, so hope he's having a great time as well. And then the two games tonight, in a few hours, we've got Germany v England. It's a big one everybody's looking at. And Sweden, Ukraine. So Germany, England. Germany have been good in stages of this tournament. England have not really had to do much against anybody yet. But I'm still not buying England yet. I want Germany to go and hammer them tonight. I was watching with the game that came on yesterday, just the analysis, and they were like, "Oh, tonight we're getting prepared for Croatia, Spain." But first, let's go to Gareth Southgate, and they were sitting talking to Gareth Southgate. I'm like, talk about the actual two teams that are playing. Like, that's the main thing I've been annoyed at this full tournament is like, you've got two teams playing in front of you. It's just total disrespect to just talk about England the full time. We know you're English, of course. Like, you're going to back England, but have a bit of respect for the teams that are on the telly. And I just can't wait to see this game tonight.
Well, no, I'm the same. I think everyone watching the tournament's the same. They're fed up hearing about England, and the sooner the better they go out this evening. We don't need to hear about them anymore. It is disrespect. It's total disrespect to the teams to just be going like, forget about you now. We're going to talk about England and how wonderful the camp is and all this kind of stuff. It's total disrespect. I'm telling you right now, if that left back for Germany, what's his name? It's at Atlanta.
Oh, Gosens.
See if he's on his game tonight. Oh, this is going. I feel like it's. See if Timo Werner scores, mate. Oh. I feel sorry for a Chelsea fan, man, because I'd be salting the wind when it missed all season. He scores against England. I just thought, listen, as a Leeds fan, I hope Calvin has a great game. He'll probably get the blame if they lose, but we'll see where it goes tonight. I just hope Germany do the business. I know they're all shouting about it's coming home and all that. We'll see about that. Still to be.
I know. We'll see. Like, Germany have a lot of talent, of course. Joachim Löw's last tournament as well. They'll obviously want to go and do something for him. You just hope Germany come out with the victors, and I'm hoping for good performances. Gosens impressed me quite a bit in this tournament. He's putting himself on the map to being up there with the best sort of left wing backs in the world. Playing with Atlanta and stuff like that. He might get a move in the summer as well, but I'm looking forward to it. Wouldn't surprise me if England go and beat them, but it wouldn't surprise me if Germany go and win as well. So they're both evenly matched, good sides, but I just don't want England to win because I'm looking at that bracket and I'm like, they could go and do something.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying as well. They could really go and do something, and they should do with the players they've got. I really think if he was smart, Southgate, he would play Sancho in this game. You know, he knows he's known the German game for a wee while now. But for me, I think they've got a fantastic team. I don't rate Declan Rice. I don't know what it is with this lad. I don't think he's good enough for me personally. Obviously, I'm going to say Calvin because I watch Calvin all the time. I think if he plays Grealish as well, he's smart enough to know when to dive down. A fantastic footballer. I just don't like he dives all the time for me. Like, but I know it's the smart fouls and that. But I really do feel like England have the better team. But who knows? Germany have a togetherness more. I feel like they have a more togetherness squad. And they really want to do well for their manager, obviously, because it's his last tournament with them. They want to see him go out on a high. So who knows? Hopefully, it goes to penalties and Southgate can cry again after.
Nah, please. After they don't. English tears is what I'm wanting at the end of the night anyway. So we'll see what happens in that one. And then Sweden, Ukraine, the 8 o'clock kickoff. Another one that they both must be licking the lips. Like, we could really be in a good situation if we make this through. Sweden, obviously, Philip Hollander still not seeing game time, as I mentioned earlier on. But Ukraine are looking good in stages. But I think Sweden are probably going to take this one for me. But again, it could just be a total upset, or Ukraine could do it. You never know with this tournament anymore. But I've liked what I've seen from players in Sweden, like Isaac as well from Real Sociedad. He looks like a really good striker up front. Forsberg's got a few goals in this tournament as well. So I'm looking forward to this one as well. Maybe not the most exciting game on paper, but a good opportunity for both of them.
It's knockout football. It doesn't matter. It's going to have to be exciting. I'm backing Ukraine for this game, Jack. We're going to see Ukraine go through for me. I think they've got. I don't know about that boy for West Ham. He seems to not get a game for West Ham, but then he seems to just be playing for his international team. They're forward up front. That plays for Kiev, innit?
Nah, Yarenchuk guy looks like a good forward.
Saying was it boy plays for City. No good with these big long names, man.
I'll get them for you, right? Zinchenko.
Zinchenko and all. What a versatile player. He just left back all season for City, going into a position he probably wants to play in. So, in the middle of the park, I fancy Ukraine. I think it'll be a good game, hopefully. But I think obviously everyone's eyes are going to be on the 5 o'clock kickoff in it. So, who knows? Listen, at the end of the day, obviously we're backing the Germans. But if England go through, England have got to go and win it for me. They've got to go and win the tournament if they go through for this game. But you never know. Come on, the Danish. That's what I'm shooting, Jack.
Yeah, and I'll echo them thoughts as well. Looking forward to tonight's games, but that's pretty much all for the games for the last week and the games coming up. We'll look forward to the quarterfinals that are happening starting on Friday. A few days to wait for them after the night, but looking forward to that as well. The last thing I wanted to say is player of the week then for this week of the Euros. Modric stood out against us, obviously. There was Lewandowski was good for Poland, even though they get beat. There's been a few. Patrick Schick again, Dolberg for Denmark, but Granit Xhaka's he's there, but I'm going to give it to Benzema for this week. He's been my standout so far. Even though they get put out, I've liked what I've seen for Benzema.
No wonder, mate. He's class forward. I think Dumfries is up there again. I think he's just been fantastic in the majority of the games he's played. There's a couple of players, mate. I don't know if I could rattle it just down to the one player. Do you know what? I'm going to give it to the boy up front for Denmark. What's his name? He played at Ajax and that. Either him. I'm going to give it to him, mate, because they want to talk about some goals and all, by the way. Oof, that first one.
They absolutely destroyed Wales in the end. And they've destroyed their past two opponents. So I'm looking at that Czech Republic game. Are they on the other end of that? Another pumping for Denmark? You never know. But I respect that choice as well.
I think the other players are
obviously Pogba's been great as well.
No, do you know what? It all ends, Jack, with Pogba. That goal for Pogba, the performance, even though they went out, I'm going to have to get to Pogba for that, mate. Honestly, the balls that he's playing. I know, as I said, I don't know if I've said, but I know Joe Rebo was tweeting about him and everyone was saying, he's got pictures of you in the wall, mate. Probably does, let's be honest.
I know.
I'll get Pogba.
Pogba's a good shout as well. But I'll go with Benzema, even though they get beat. France have still had some good performances. But aye, that's it for the third week of our Euros podcast here on our channel. Hopefully the Rangers content will be back in a couple of weeks now. So is there anything else you'd like to say before
just before you go,
we go?
Obviously I was watching the Copa America. I sort of stopped because I realised only the top 4 teams go through and the 5th team goes out. Found that a bit weird. So now it's getting into the knockout stages. And I'm just wanting to just want to hear if you're going to be watching the knockout games now, mate, that it's knockout football now.
Aye, of course, I like knockout football. It's just the timing doesn't work well with me.
The time. We're hoping to watch it later.
Aye, so that's the problem with that. But seeing Argentina get a 4-0 victory last night. Messi grabbed a couple of goals again. I'll try and catch as much of it as I can. But who do you think's actually going to win it then, in your opinion?
I'd say Brazil are the favourites. They've just seemed to be rattling the group. I would love Messi to win it. That team I think they've got right now is a really good team for Messi. I would really just love to see him get a trophy with his international team as well.
Mm-hmm.
As we were younger, as I say, mate, we all were like, oh, Ronaldo, King. But now, as we get older, we're just like, nah, both of them. We just appreciate them.
Nah.
That we actually got to grow up with these two. So it'd be nice to see Messi win it, mate.
Nah, it would 100% be nice to see Messi win it. That's the last thing he needs to check off. Or Alfredo, it would obviously be nice to see him.
If he doesn't go to Portugal, that'd be nice for Alfredo to win it.
Aye. So Alfredo or Messi for the Copa America. But thanks to everybody who's continuing listening to the podcast, even when there isn't any like Rangers full episodes. If you're enjoying the Euros content, let us know on Twitter or that, and we can try and improve anything that you would like. And if you like the video and the podcast, if you could subscribe to the channel, it'd be very much appreciated. And share it about if you're listening elsewhere. And we'll be back now next week to look again at the next stage of the Euros, see what's happening, and any other Rangers news that's happening along the way. So we'll see you then. Cheers.